What is going on, YouTube? What is going on, Kansas City? And what is going on, everybody? And welcome to the Beat of KC. Ladies and gentlemen, we're already getting to week 3. Holy smokes, this is absolutely incredible. And by far, this has been one of my favorite series / videos to make each week. And that is going to be the NFL predictions for the week, but also kind of recapping and predicting about and talking about who won, who lost, who's starting to kind of separate themselves and things like that. Yes, we are only in week 2, going into week 3. But guys, I'm super excited. This is an incredible season so far. And I can't thank you enough for the support on the channel. This has been tremendous. I'm having an absolute blast writing articles and just doing all kinds of different things for different people. I do have an announcement to make. I did actually join up with the SIA network, and I will be doing a Royals podcast through SIA Network. I will also be doing a lot of contributing through writing and things like that. So I'm really looking forward to the opportunity. Can't thank those guys enough over there for giving me the opportunity to do what I'm going to do. So absolutely excited. But before we really dive in and talk about week 2, recapping week 2, I ask that you guys smash that subscribe button, smash that like button, comment down below and let me know what you guys think. And obviously, we're going to dive into this. I'm super excited about this. I recovered, ladies and gentlemen. My record was 10 times better than it was last week. So we're going to go through this. I'm going to pop up my screen like you guys know I like to do. That way you guys are seeing the exact same thing that I'm seeing. So we're going to pop over here to ESPN.com, go through week 2. This week I was 12-4. Unfortunately, one of those losses was the Kansas City Chiefs. Man, that was a tremendous game. It just came down to a last-minute fumble. There was obviously other things that led up to that, but that's unfortunate, and that's just how it goes sometimes. So we're going to dive in. I did predict the Washington football team beating the New York Giants. I did predict that the Cincinnati Bengals would beat the Chicago Bears. I think we're going to see a little bit more of Justin Fields. They did announce that he's going to be the starter. Andy Dalton had a pretty severe injury, I believe. Cleveland over Houston was a prediction of mine. The Rams over the Colts was a prediction of mine. Buffalo over Miami was another prediction. New England over New York. San Francisco at Philly. I picked Philly to win this one. This was one of my upsets. That did not, unfortunately, happen. Vegas over Pittsburgh, which I did not pick. I thought, honestly, that the Steelers opening up at home would have pulled that one out, but they've looked a little off. Obviously, you guys can see over there, rushing leader, Najee Harris, just not really getting it going yet. Man, he's a stud coming out of Alabama, but just has not quite figured it out in the Steeler Nation yet. New Orleans at Carolina. This was another loss for me. I did predict that the Saints would beat the Panthers, but Panthers come out on top. Sam Darnold looking pretty solid there. Has some really good weapons in Robbie Anderson, DJ Moore, Christian McCaffrey, Chuba Hubbard obviously showing a little this week, and I really like what they got in Carolina. They have a young, good defense there. Denver over Jacksonville was a prediction of mine. Arizona over Minnesota was a prediction of mine. Tampa over Atlanta was one of mine. Dallas over the Los Angeles Chargers was a prediction of mine. Dallas actually looking pretty solid. Tennessee at Seattle. I did pick Tennessee over Seattle. I just don't feel that they have the depth in Seattle. I think that they're going to win some games, obviously, but they're in an extremely tough division in the West. And I just think that with Tennessee needing a rebound game after losing, we definitely saw Derrick Henry just explode in the week. So, yeah, definitely was looking forward to rebounding on that Tennessee game. I mean, as you guys can see, he rushed for 182 yards. I think he had 2 or 3 touchdowns. Tyler Lockett does go off again for the Seattle Seahawks, getting 178 yards. Tyler Lockett's been incredible for Seattle. Unfortunately, I did not predict that the Baltimore Ravens would beat the Kansas City Chiefs. I did say Green Bay would beat Detroit, and that wraps out week 2, and I went 12-4. So as of right now, my overall record is 19-3 through 2 weeks. Now we're going to jump in, and I'm going to do my predictions for week 3. So my face is going to completely disappear. That way the screen does get a little bit bigger for you guys. I got to make sure I write these down because I get to going, and I forget. So first up, this is through ESPN. I like their I like how they display this. Maybe there's another one, but I just like how this is displayed. It tells you the location, and if you want to get some tickets, but also tells you where it's what time and the national television station. So the first game up is Thursday Night Football. This is going to be an NRG Stadium in Houston. I am going to go Carolina. I think Carolina has shown enough. And I still think there's just a lot of question marks. Mills is actually going to be the starter, not Tyrod Taylor in Houston. So they might look to actually run the football a little bit more. Brian Burns has been a monster for Carolina. I like Carolina in this game. Washington at Buffalo. Just experienced a flicker of the screen. Give me just 1 second. My screen just went out. There we go. Okay, so we're back. Washington at Buffalo. This is in Buffalo. That Buffalo crowd is going to be insane. I like Washington and what they've been able to do, but I think Buffalo is going to edge this one out. Washington has a pretty solid defense, but I think for the kind of counteract, I think Buffalo has a little bit more from both sides, and I think Buffalo will win this football game. So I'm going to go Buffalo in that one. Chicago at Cleveland. It sounds like Jarvis Landry went on the IR. So you're going to have Donovan Peoples-Jones step up. I'm not sure. I haven't seen quite yet if OBJ is going to be back or not. But Chicago is going to be relying on their young rookie quarterback from Ohio State and Justin Fields. He's going to be going into the dog pound there in Cleveland at First Energy Stadium. I'm going to go with Cleveland, although I really do like what they're building there in Chicago. I like Allen Robinson a lot. I'm a huge fan. I have David Montgomery in a slew of different fantasy football teams. So I really like what they got going on there in Chicago. I just think for how Cleveland's been playing football as of late, I think that they're going to edge that one out. Baltimore at Detroit. Detroit really put in a good performance on Monday Night Football against the Green Bay Packers in the first half. I want to clarify that. TJ Hawkinson and Jared Goff seem to have a pretty good connection. But Baltimore, coming off that win of Kansas City, I think Baltimore's got the edge in this one, so I'm going to go Baltimore. Indianapolis at Tennessee. Carson Wentz is a question mark, so you're going to be relying on Jacob Eason. And I just like what Tennessee's been able to do. This is also in Nissan Stadium. And Derrick Henry is running like a madman. So I'm going to go Tennessee. Los Angeles at Kansas City. We're coming back home off of a loss. I think the Kansas City Chiefs have a lot to prove from a defensive standpoint. I really think the offense has been okay. We did have a little bit of some mishaps, an interception from Mahomes that probably shouldn't have been thrown, and a fumble from Clyde Edwards-Helaire late in the game that really kind of sealed the deal. But, to be honest with you, the offense was doing everything it should have. The Honey Badger had 2 interceptions, one for a pick 6. But honestly, guys, we can't stop a nosebleed when it comes to the rush defense, which does concern me a little bit about Austin Eckler. If he really gets going and Keenan Allen connects with Herbert, this could be a problem. But I think they look to rebound and really provide, a W at home in Arrowhead Stadium and starting out the division. So I'm going to go a W for the Kansas City Chiefs. New Orleans at New England. I'm going to go New England on this one, even though they have a young quarterback in Mac Jones. I just think that Jameis Winston is a huge question mark. He has 1 week where he just is insane at throwing touchdowns, and then the next week he can't throw touchdowns and he throws interceptions. Kamara struggled last week. This is in Gillette Stadium in Foxborough. I just think New England can find a way to win this football game. Atlanta and the New York Football Giants. I'm going to go Atlanta on this one. The Giants, I think, have some flashes. Daniel Jones has looked pretty solid, to be all honest. But Atlanta looked pretty solid against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers until, I'd say, the end of the third quarter, going into the fourth quarter. And then the Giants kind of have had their moments. So there's a chance the Giants could win this. I'm going to go Atlanta in this one. If Matt Ryan is doing okay and can connect with Ridley, Kyle Pitts, and really get going with Mike Davis, I think that there's just a good chance that Atlanta connects and wins this one. I'm going to go an upset. I think that Cincinnati beats the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm not liking what I'm seeing so far. Ben Roethlisberger is questionable for that game, which then I think would be either Dwayne Haskins or Mason Rudolph. And I just don't think that there's a connection on that offense right now. The defense has been okay, but that offense has kind of been, in my opinion, struggling. Cincinnati is gunslinging it. Burrows did throw a couple picks, but they've been feeding Tyler Boyd. They've been feeding Jamar Chase. T. Higgins has been going off. We see Joe Mixon running the football. I do think that they will go into Heinz Field with a lot of questions, and that's going to be my upset. Arizona at Jacksonville, holy smokes, that could potentially be an absolute annihilation. Arizona is just a powerhouse offense with a very, I would say, average to above average defense, but man, Chandler Jones and J.J. Watt are absolutely clicking together. And I think that they're hyping that defense up to win football games too. So I just think Arizona is a force to be reckoned with. And again, that's still my prediction for them to make it very deep into the playoffs. I really like what Arizona's doing, and that's an easy win for Arizona. New York Jets at Denver. I think Denver pulls this one out. It's been a safe play for Teddy Bridgewater. He's not making mistakes. He's connecting with guys. Cortland Sutton. Tim Patrick seems to be one of his go-to guys. That defense is disgusting. Von Miller seems to be recovering from his previous years and coming back to kind of his form. We're seeing Chubb do some things, and Shelby Harris is out there. Zach Wilson's coming off just throwing the football to the opposing team. I still think there's a lot of questions there. I really like Ty Johnson as a running back there. But I think Denver with safe play, Teddy Bridgewater, I think they end up winning that football game. It is in Mile High, so I'm going to go with Denver on that play. The next one is Miami at Vegas, and I want to say Miami, but Tua is going to be out with some banged up ribs. That means Jacoby Brissett is going to be the starter. Jacoby has had some games when he was actually playing with Indy. And so I think that they have a chance. That receiving core for the Miami Dolphins plus Mike Gesicki at tight end is pretty solid. They've been running the football pretty good too. So I like Miami, but they're going to Allegiant Stadium there in Las Vegas. And, Las Vegas was off the charts for their home opener. I think that they're going to be playing, they're going to be going for 3-0. I'm going to go Las Vegas just because I think that, they're playing with a vendetta. They got some, they've been doing pretty well. So I'm going to go Las Vegas. Tampa Bay at Los Angeles. The Rams. I'm actually going to predict this being an upset too, I guess you could say. I think the Rams, in my opinion, the Rams are playing good. And I think that it's going to be in SoFi, so it's going to be out in LA. That's a long trip for Tampa. I think if their defense can lock down and get a couple stops and force Brady to maybe turn the football over a couple times or even just once, I think Stafford is going to sling the rock. You're going to see Cooper Kupp. You're going to see Robert Woods. Tyler Higbee's probably going to catch some. I like LA, and I think this crowd might actually be off the chain. I mean, you're facing off against the defending Super Bowl champs. Tampa's been playing pretty easy teams. This is going to be a challenge for them. So I am going to go with the Los Angeles Rams. The next game's kind of challenging too. Seattle at Minnesota. Minnesota is off to a slow start, 0-2. Seattle is, got some people that they're trying to really get back into things. I think DK Metcalf needs to be incorporated just a little bit more. Tyler Lockett's just been exploding in the receiving position. So Seattle at Minnesota. I'm actually going to go with Seattle. I've been picking against them, and I'm going to go with Seattle in this game. I think Minnesota starts 0-3. That's just kind of the vibe I'm feeling. Maybe that's an upset pick. Some people might say that. That could be an L. I think Minnesota definitely has a good football team. I mean, Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, Dalvin Cook, Kirk Cousins has actually been playing pretty solid. I just think some of the question marks are their defense in some aspects, and I think Russell Wilson might dice them up a little bit. Green Bay going to San Francisco. Aaron Rodgers came out in his presser and was kind of throwing some shade at some reporters. He goes on to Pat McAfee and basically says, we're still trying to create an identity. San Francisco obviously has been just going through running backs similar to what the Baltimore Ravens have been doing. It's going to be tough. And I think for me, I'm going to go Green Bay on this one. I think Green Bay just has a little bit more of some things established. If they can get a couple turnovers or some stops and force the hand of Jimmy G to really kind of play, I think that's where the Green Bay Packers can win the football game. Aaron Rodgers, obviously a good veteran. There was rumors that he was going to go to San Francisco at one point. So we'll have to see. I think that that's definitely going to be a great Sunday night football game. And that leads us into Monday. I'm a big-time Jalen Hurts fan. I like what they're doing in Philly. I think that they're just coming up short just a little bit. I think they need just a little bit more. And then they're going to truly be competing in that NFC East. But I'm going to have to go with Dallas just because I think Dallas has a little bit more established. Dak Prescott's been playing lights out. CeeDee Lamb, holy smokes, has been incredible. Amari Cooper's still playing well. They've been looking to the tight ends. They've been splitting carries and really kind of doing some things in the backfield with Zeke and Tony Pollard. Pollard's been a monster. And I like how that defense is starting to shape up. They go out and get Dan Quinn as their D coordinator. They're in Dallas. And, he's kind of turning the ship around. It was pretty bad last year, and it's starting to come back around. You're seeing Diggs do some things. Like, their secondary is actually looking pretty solid. And that linebacker group, if they can stay healthy, you got Leighton Vander Esch, Jalen Smith, Micah Parsons. That right there alone is pretty lethal. So I like what they're doing, and I'm going to go Dallas. So that wraps that up. Just to recap, Carolina, Buffalo, Cleveland, Baltimore, Tennessee, KC, New England, Atlanta, Cincinnati, Arizona, Denver, Las Vegas Raiders, the Los Angeles Rams, the Seattle Seahawks, Green Bay Packers, and America's team, as some people would say, Dallas Cowboys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I'm going to pull my face back so I can make this a little bit more professional on the exit. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this series. This is a lot of fun. I'm going to try to do an article and write up kind of some of the same things I talked about on SIA and get that out in article form. But I appreciate you guys showing the support. Hit me up in the comment section. I'm 19-3. How are you guys doing? Let me know about your fantasy teams as well. This has been a lot of fun, guys. So again, thank you so much. Appreciate the support. And as always, thank you for checking out the Beat of KC, and have a good day.